And then the attachments. So I got into the Prepare 'em today, or Friday. I got everything set up. I think I just gotta get everything sent to you, the login and password.
I've never messed with it.
Me either. I logged in, but that's as far as I went on Friday, so, but yeah.
I'm feeling kind of scared watching many firefighters in the room this morning. I mean, they're up to someone. No, we can't have that big board or the helicopter. The wife made me start the Halloween deck.
Oh, did she?
And can't have
Balls in the air.
8 bales of hay just to make this truck with the Ford skirt going today.
Wow.
But it looks
I didn't bring a truck today, so that's good.
That's good. Going good.
Yeah.
I can't think what their last name is.
Yeah.
Richard and his wife across the street. I started putting stuff up and she's like, no, not now. Because you know that Richard's gonna want to start putting our stuff up.
Right.
I said, well, here it comes. Oh, there's the last two from last meeting. You're slacking on your job. I know it.
Call to order the regular council meeting for the town of Evansville. May I have roll call, please?
Mayor Chad Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Joe.
Here.
Councilmember Candace Machado.
Here.
Councilmember Michael Scott.
Here.
Councilmember Kathy Scott asked to be excused tonight. Town Attorney Leah Scott.
Here.
Town Engineer Shane Porter.
Here.
Town Planner Scott Rapp.
Here.
Town Treasurer Leslie Erickson.
Here.
Vice Mike Thompson.
Here.
Fire Chief Leo Moss must be excused and in his place is Assistant Fire Chief Mark Cornett.
Here.
And Public Works Representative Robert Carrillo.
Here.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 1, the consent agenda. Approval of the regular meeting minutes for August 23rd, 2021. Approval of bills. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Item 2, the MOU between the town of Evansville and the Natrona County School District. Chief, you want to give us some background on this?
So a year and a half ago, the school district had reached out to us. We had an MOU where we put an officer an hour a day in the school. They reimbursed us $43 per that hour. And then, so we had one invoice we sent them, got paid for that. And with COVID last year and some stuff, that kind of went away. A week ago, they reached back out, said, we'd like to, put this MOU, get it going again. So with that, we worked out some language in there that was acceptable for both of us. The last go around, there was kind of some stuff that I didn't agree with. They didn't want to budge on. And so now we have a good agreement, deals with health orders. Should health orders come out, obviously I ask everybody to follow that, but there's also an escape clause. So if it's to that point, we can basically in the MOU, no hard feelings either way. There was also some language added, so we have use of the school free for 14 hours a year for training purposes, which is good for the PD, because you're always looking for somewhere different to train, whether it's school buildings, et cetera. So that was kind of a good thing. Then it also outlines the key fobs. We each have a key fob, which is coded to the doors that gives us access to there. And so there's a few updates. It went to Mike Lansing's office, which is the alternate because there's a conflict with Aaliyah's firm over here. But anyways, he gave it a good read. He approved the language, said the town's protected. And so with that, it's now in front of you.
This is 1 hour a day in return, $7,400.
Yeah, roughly about $7,400, give or take the days that are in the agreement. So it equates to at least 1 hour per school day that will be in the schools with the kids and stuff. So if it's a 4-day week instead of 5, it's only 4 days. But so yeah, it's a good thing. Kids like it. We go over there quite a bit and go out soccer and play football in the fields and walk the halls. So.
I think it's great to have that presence. Anybody have any questions?
4 grandchildren over there right now, and they actually asked the policeman.
Yeah, well, that's why. So, but we're getting back to it. And I talked to the principal the other day. She's excited about the idea of us being back in and asked when that was going to happen. So, yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the MOU between the town of Evansville and the Park High School? All those in favor? Approval of animal shelter and holding MOU. Chief, you want to come back up again?
And we're back at the podium again. So, as you know, a little over a year ago, we took on our own animal control. And portion of doing that gives us control over it, saves us lots of money, but we had to pair with Mills. They worked a pretty good deal with us because they have a facility to hold the animals that we're catching when we can't find their homes, etc. So in that MOU, the prior language we paid by animal, the chief and I had visited about changing that to where just it's a one-time payment. And then there was some discussion about taking out so at the end of this particular year, the Humane Society that's been a part of taking care of those animals is no longer going to be doing that with Mills and us. So there's some talk about taking that language out. However, I felt since they're still doing that service for us, it needs to stay in. So really the only change in that MOU that we originally signed with Mills is the language about doing a one-time payment, which I think is $5,000 versus paying per the animal. And there was some discussion about if that's too much or too little. And I think at present we're like $2,500 for the year. Is that correct, Janelle? Somewhere in that neighborhood. And I see why it would be potentially want to be lowered. I'm okay with the $5,000 as a one-time thing because it's a pretty good service they're doing for us. But when you really think about the money we're saving not being part of Metro, it's still, I mean, we're 20,000 versus 100,000. So I think it's a reasonable thing in my mind. I tried to reach out to Bill to talk a little bit, but he was on vacation, well deserved. So, but I talked to Scott. Right. So it works out. So we did visit a little bit earlier this evening, and I think if you have any other questions, Aaliyah we'll have to answer him because is he on vacation? Is that what?
No, we just alternate.
Oh, you just alternate. Okay. So tonight we have Aaliyah, but I don't think he had any ill words of it earlier. So.
Budgeting purposes, I like the idea of a one-time payment. I think it's much easier for us to manage going forward.
I agree.
Do you have any questions about the MOU? Do I have a motion to approve the animal shelter and holding MOU? All those in favor? Motion passes. Item number 4, Evansville Southern 2021 Annexation Report and Resolution number 7-2021. Scott? No.
Mike wants to. He's been up here already. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I don't know if you had a chance. I'm hoping you had a chance to look through all this good stuff. 12 pages plus. But essentially, in the winter of 2020, Mayor Edwards' staff, we were looking at this annexation. We had all these properties that were kind of interspersed down in the south side. And the map over there, you got some big holes that kind of were a problem, especially to our police force over here that says they have to train people on what areas are county and what areas are Evansville. And you just get to the point where it's like, why don't we just annex that? So that's what we're trying to do. So this will, and I've got a big map. I don't know if you can see everything on. If you want to look at it, a bigger version of it anyway. But there's some little areas on that west side too that are Platt Park Road stuff that weren't formally annexed, little pieces of where the road started turning in there. So basically, we're just cleaning up. The other part of that is there was some areas that could only really be serviced, like the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad areas. If there was an accident in those areas, we just kind of added those in as well, because if there was emergency, we would obviously take care of it here. So we did originally have Blackmore Road in Evansville, and then it got taken out. Now we're annexing it again. So I don't know what the story was on that, but Blackmore Road is going to be included with that as well. The main, I guess, process that we're using to do this through state statutes is if 75% or more of the perimeter of the area to be annexed is contiguous to the corporate limits of the annexing city or town, the provisions of subsection B of this section do not apply. And B says if more than 50% of the landowners don't want to be in here with written objections, they can. So basically, the town's petitioning to annex them, and they don't have a choice. So because we do surround them with over 75% of those lands. So we're forcibly annexing these folks, which again, if they wanted services for any of these places, they'd have to tie into Evansville. Some of these places already have services in Evansville. So we're just basically cleaning up the whole area and just making it a little bit more reasonable as far as looking at it on a map. Doesn't make a lot of sense servicing and boundary wise why we didn't have that in earlier, but we're doing it now. Without going completely into this long legal description, I'll let you enjoy that on your own time. The town really isn't looking on any cost to be associated with this, minus just the cost for the platting and the processing of the annexation itself, which advertising and everything else. We've got to send out notification, and we have to do a public hearing that has to be set by this resolution. So tonight, this is what essentially you guys are making a vote on, is to basically prove the setting of the public hearing and sending out the notifications to the property owners based on this meeting all the criteria of the state statutes, which is on page 7, which includes a map of the proposed area, which will be advertised at a half mile outside of the area to be annexed. Total estimated cost of infrastructure improvements required by all landowners, by annexing municipality related to the annexations. We have no publicly funded infrastructure improvements required. There's some talk that there's some individuals down there on Wildcat that may want some services. We've got some of those services in that area. If the landowners do want to come in and they do want water and sewer, they're going to have to get with us, and we'll work with them to try to get that, but the town isn't necessarily going to be taking care of that through their financial means. A list of basic services customarily available. It's all in here in the report as far as water, sewer, and sanitation services. Projected annual fee service costs. That's the town can provide these services without additional staff. Majority of that area that be annexed is a big agricultural cow field. So there's a lot of land, not a lot of people. We're probably not going to require a bunch of people coming on board for that. Current and projected property tax mill levies imposed by the municipality, which is shown in here, which I just want to state this now if you get any questions. So being in the county, if they come into the municipality, they will lose the Casper Mountain Fire District mills, which is 5%, I think, or 5 mills, I'm sorry. And you gain a little bit, having to pay a little bit more tax when you come into town, but you also, when you're getting out of town rates for water and sewer, you're paying a higher amount of water and sewer rates for out of town serviced. And so they will be saving, they'll be in town at this point. So then they save money on that side of it. So really, when you look at the bigger picture, it really evens out. It's not like, and we did incorporate the new urban ag and urban ag residential, which we've got some properties to stay urban ag unless they want to develop it and rezone it down the road, but they have that option. But for the most part, we're trying to keep it about as much the same as possible that it was in the county, and really you'll get a little bit more benefit. And the one thing that the towns have versus the county is, as a municipality, you can put in for grants and different things that you wouldn't get at, the county folks wouldn't get. So some of these improvements, if they want to work with the town and we can put in for grants, we can get that money actually help with some of the costs of development. That's something that you wouldn't see out in the county. So I think they're going to benefit. So if you do get people questioning, especially the council, you say, well, here's the pluses and minuses. There really isn't that many minuses. I mean, we're still allowing it to stay pretty much the same as it is now, right now, but they would just probably we're already servicing with some of the fire and police because of joint service agreements. So it's not changing that much. It's just going to clean up, and we'll actually have a boundary that we've got fire and police services that don't have to worry about teaching their new guys all these little holes all over the place. So that's it in a nutshell. Did you have any questions concerning the report or any?
So I got a question. So the ones that don't want to annex, because I was here when we tried to annex before and everybody just refused.
You can't on this one because we surround
70-some%.
So all those people on the west side, the east side down there, our corporate limits surround them. Just to show you here. So our corporate limits are where you see the zone. So this big piece right here at Blackmore Road, from here versus pretty much all of this area here and goes all the way around here, all that, we surround them. This little piece right We surround them as well. Those little chunks that are over on the far side, that's really inconclusive. It's more of a cleanup. It's more of a, well, we've got to because it's right away, it's in the roads. We're just trying to get it to where the liability is outside of anything outside of the right of ways. So really, in this case, the town petitioning to annex, it's not one of those that would be like asking Rutgers or trying to petition them. Because then, yes, they come back. We don't want to be it. Because we don't surround it. We don't surround it. And what you can't do is you can't just annex certain portions and then leave like an island, like, stops now. You see, I mean, like annexing everybody and then leaving, you can't leave an island for state statutes either. So this is just essentially, we surround these guys. We're just trying to clean it up and make it one even boundary right up against I-25 and around some bends and that intersection that's on Western. And not that you got much of an access going across the street right now, but that was included too, because that was a piece of county that was in between Casper and county. There's a little rectangle piece and then Evansville. So if there was an accident there, nobody had jurisdiction. I guess the county would have jurisdiction. So we included that little piece in there too, and everybody's going to be happier for it, I think. So, but for the most part, that's what we're using state statute wise to go in there and say, look, we're annexing you. Yeah, we're not looking at them.
Yeah, that's our water and sewer out there.
Well, not sewer. I think they're on septic out there, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're just water. But I mean, that's something too that they did a improvement service district out there. So they did get our water because they had problems up there. But that might be something in the future that would be worth, talking to the residents, because I think they'd benefit off of these same things. I don't know what they're paying in trash, and or you guys aren't picking trash
We
up.
pick up trash.
You do? Are they paying in town or out of town rates? Out of town. So, and then they could possibly get sewer, but the only way to do that is to come into town and then we'll talk. But
Big thing with this I look at is, Scott said, clean. We've got 3 areas on the western side of town that have posed jurisdictional issues. Portions of the street and stuff.
I've always thought that was the craziest thing, having those little spots here and there.
well, I'm the planner in Mills as well, and they had the same situation where you have to have sheriffs come in. Technically, they have jurisdiction. They have to come in to the town to access property, and it's like, yeah, it creates some problems sometimes. So yeah, this will kind of make things a little bit nicer when Mike's out there chasing people across that field. You can do that.
Questions for Scott of the proposal? You explained it pretty well. I'd like to back to cleaning it up a little bit. Just provide this continuous boundary, along the southern edge of town. All right. Do you have any questions? Do I have a
And
motion?
we gotta set the date for public hearing.
October 20th?
Public hearing, and so between that time when we advertise, it's going to be advertised twice in the paper or whatever. I don't know how that works anymore. But and then I'll get all the letters out for the landowners and I'll bring it over, and they have to be sent out certified letters to the landowners within certain time periods. So I'll probably get those done this week, and you can send them out after you get the advertisement out, and we'll go from there. So, and then you might get some people coming in at the public hearing, but again, that's why I tried to give you as much information as far as why and what the benefits are, because you might get some of those people calling you up and you can tell them, and the report will be here as well. If anybody has any questions, they can get the full report. We've got them here, so.
I have a motion to approve resolution number 7-2021. All those in favor? Motion passes. Engineers report.
I just have a couple things tonight. Have contractor pay estimate number 5 on the secondary access road project. It's actually a pretty small one. It started working in August, which is just one of the bank collection. So, but they sent an invoice to get up, we have a process in a timely manner. So, the total invoice amount is $6,900. So we're not withholding any more retained, so that's 5%. No retained is taken out of that, so the total amount due to contractor is $6,900. Contractor for that amount.
I have a motion to proceed with payment for $6,900 for the contractor on the secondary access roads. I have a second.
Seconded. I'm sorry, Steve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
So along with that, I have one business council drawdown request number 4 to cover this invoice. Again, the total invoice amount is $6,900. Grant paid 100%. So the drawdown request is for $6,900 for drawdown request 4.
I have a motion to approve drawdown request number 4. Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Do I have a motion to approve the engineer's report?
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Item 6, public comments. Have any public comments? Yes, sir.
Just want to introduce myself. We're firefighters of Evansville. We created a local union, and I want to introduce myself as president. We're professional firefighters of Evansville. You guys can contact me if you have any questions about that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, Dan Corson, I'm sorry. I figured everybody knows me, but-
Captain Dan Corson.
Any other public comments? Public comments? All right, no public comments. Do I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor?
Seconded.
Sorry, second first. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. 7:27. Yeah, what?
No, good one, Ella. Shepherd's pie,
Oh, Shepherd.
potato, yeah.
Oh, just need